Okay, Nate.
Okay, the regular council meeting for Tuesday, February 15th at 6:30 in the courtroom. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Smith,
Present.
Counselor Martin,
Present.
Counselor Stevenson, Counselor Bahoviak, she's online.
We just heard from Council Gowdy.
She's
on her
run-
way.
Correct.
Okay, let's move on.
She's on. All right, remarks of the public on agenda items only, 2 minutes.
Okay.
Is there anybody logged on, the public that would like to speak? Any public on Zoom that would like to speak?
Am I considered public or am I considered a member since I'm not there?
At this point, you're public because you can discuss, but you can't vote on anything. No.
Okay, on agenda items, we had discussed at the agenda review meeting, discussing the plows in committee because there's so many concerns about it, how they drop and distribute salt. And what is this special bumper? And there are a lot of concerns. And since we didn't have any administration there to discuss them, nor have we at all in the past, the discussion had been to leave them, put them in council, and then presumably pass them at the next council meeting.
Anyone else? Stacy? Is anyone from the administration coming?
I believe the mayor is on his way.
All right. Could you let them know we got one started?
I will.
Thank you. Thank you very much, young lady.
Is there any way to turn
That's
President Martin's volume up?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now, Ms. Bahoviak?
You're there, but you're not very loud.
Well, I speak loud, so.
That's the loudest it'll go.
I guess that's the loudest we go, Patricia.
Hold on 1 second. Let me try something.
I can hear you just fine, Tracy.
I was in front of the computer. Okay, try now.
Patricia Bahoviak, can you hear me?
That's better.
Okay, I'm speaking louder too. All right. We're at the point for remarks from the mayor. Do you want to wait on him or move on?
Did you say you don't have a quorum?
No, there is a quorum.
We do have a quorum. Let the record reflect, we do have a quorum. We also have, from the police department, Captain Lundy here. I'm gonna have him say a few things about the situation yesterday.
You could just make a motion to Rule 9 to move the agenda items around a little bit.
Oh, no, I'll wait till I get to.
Well, since the mayor's not here, if you want to go up and move the reports from council up.
Yeah, let's just move on then. Receipts of, go ahead.
Receipts of communication petitions, none. Proclamations, none. Now it's reports from council committees.
Okay. Brother Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Personnel.
Yes, thank you. I want you to announce your
Committee will meet. Last Tuesday of this month. Matter of fact, we will, if my memory serves me correctly, I'm gonna talk to our great clerk. I believe, we're gonna do a combination this time.
Right, you and I.
So, right, Ms. Tracy?
Yes.
We'll do a combination, and I really thank everyone involved for that. That's gonna start at 5:30, right?
Yes,
What day is that
it will
again?
be next Tuesday,
Okay, give them the date again, brother.
the 22nd.
Last Tuesday of the month, which is February 22nd. Please, I look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you.
Okay, health and safety, I want to go over a couple of things right quick under that. This is something, do I have one for everyone? council meetings decorum per the charter. I went through the charter today and went over to Rule 24, prohibiting use of cell phone, pagers, or other audible electronic devices during council meetings. Please turn them off and on vibrate and cell phones until after the meeting. Okay. Rule 4, preservation of order and appointments of committees. I'll summarize it. Council meetings shall remove any person ordered by the chair to leave the meeting for violation of the order and the quorum thereof, who refuses to obey such orders, disruption of the meeting. And then Rule 21, remarks and requests by members of the public. A person qualified to address the council may speak twice at any given meeting, limited to 2 minutes at the beginning of the portion of the meeting, and limited to 3 minutes at the closing portion of the meeting. No person shall address council more than 2 times at any given meeting. Okay. We had a situation, I'm gonna bring it up on the health and safety, a police officer situation. I'm gonna ask Captain Lundy, and I met today with Chief Gardner, Captain Lundy, and myself, and also had Councilman Smith to talk about the situation because I was getting calls about it. Well, Captain Lundy, would you come up and address the public, please, about the situation with the police? Just you know what you need to say.
All right, so I mean, as everyone's probably aware, there was a video that went viral yesterday with an East Cleveland police officer at Best Steak and Gyro here in East Cleveland. The video depicted an officer kicking a gentleman in the back while he was kneeled down. This incident, the chief and I became aware of it yesterday evening. Since then, we've actually put that officer on administrative suspension, pending investigation. We've also reached out to an external law enforcement agency, make sure there's no potential criminal charges that can be brought up against the officer. From what we know is that East Cleveland officers were called to Best Steak and Gyro early morning hours of Monday, February 14th, about 1:30 a.m. Officer arrived. There was a male inside the establishment, reportedly being irate. The officer ordered the male to the floor repeatedly. The male refused to get down to the floor initially, which he ended up getting down on his knees. The officer ordered the male to lay on his stomach on several occasions. In one instance, you see the male reach down towards his ankle. Not sure exactly what he was reaching for. However, the male put his hands behind his back, at which time the officer struck him in the back towards the floor. That individual was transported to University Hospital, not so much for any injuries, but potentially being under the influence of alcohol and or drugs. He was taken to UH for what we thought was either a psych eval at that time. Again, can't speak too much on the actual incident itself, as the matter is currently under investigation. So we're waiting to hear back from the outside law enforcement agency to see what measures they choose to take.
Okay, I want to thank the mayor for allowing us to meet. We dealt with it immediately. I want to thank Councilman Smith for being here. And we had a very strong discussion. It's being investigated. There's a possibility there'll be some discipline in the situation once all the facts are out. The officer is entitled, he has his rights.
That's correct.
Okay. So the proper procedure is being followed. I just want to thank Smith. He stepped up and we arranged the meeting. And thank you, Mayor, for allowing us to meet with him. So we feel comfortable with what's taking place. Okay.
Yes,
We were disturbed by what we saw. Okay. We did see him go down and whatever the case may be, but it's going to be investigated. And I asked him to let us know the outcome once everything is going through the process of what's going to happen with the particular.
Absolutely.
Brother Smith, you want to say anything?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just again, Captain Lundy and Chief and, Mr. Mayor, thank you all for your transparency, to the people of East Cleveland, in specific and to the people in general. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Mayor Brandon King, you want to say something about this? Anything you want to say?
So. I'd like to thank the captain for stepping up, chief, and all the police who were involved. Right, I'd like to thank you, Council President, you, Councilman Smith, for coming out as you always do. You too, you come out, and I appreciate that when you come out, you ask questions first instead of start going with the media hype is. And we don't have all of the details, right? As the captain said, zero tolerance. We said this before, and we're sending it to an outside investigative authority to look at.
Thank you. And I'll add that we also suggested that not only this particular officer, but we suggested all of them have training in this area, and that ongoing training is going to be essential. Okay, I was pleased with the fact that I got the cooperation from you, Mayor, to do this. Thank you very much. Okay, all right. Corey Stephen, your committee. That concludes health and safety. Thank you. Thank you, Captain Lundy. Okay. Okay, let's move on, Tracy.
Okay, next is reports, announcements of the mayor.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. All right, for returning this. I'm working on Black History Month.
Oh,
While
thank you.
that's going around, as you all know, I dedicate Black History Councilman, here, our council president, Councilman Martin.
Okay.
When I got on council, we were doing Black History facts. And made me realize at some point that it is Black History Month, we need to celebrate achievements in Black history. And there's a lot that we know, but there's a lot that we don't know. So, last 2 months I've talked about, or the last 2 meetings I've talked about Greenwood Rising, a college buddy that I had the fortunate of knowing and spending a lot of time with, very good friend of mine. He is on the committee that founded and got it established. They are doing a listening series, in which they will do Q&A. Now, I've been on this call with him before, very informative, very eye-opening, tidbits and information that we simply is not out there in the public about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood those many years ago. So I would encourage you to go to the website and sign up for the listening tour. You can ask your questions and listen to stuff there. I also found it interesting about the man behind Black History Month, Dr. Carter Woodson.
Yes,
You
yes.
see a lot about him here. Just read some of the stuff that's highlighted. He chose February because the month contained the birthdays of both Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two prominent men whose historic achievements African Americans are already celebrated. So that was his reasoning for choosing that. He was a member of an organization that later became the Association to Study of African American History. And here's what they had, it was a week long, then shifted to a month-long celebration of Black history. That was in 1976.
Thank you.
Right? And it states here that it was the civil rights and the Black power movements of the 60s on the college campuses that actually pushed it to become longer than a week. And then the association officially made the name change to Black History Month. Since then, Every US president has issued a proclamation honoring the spirit of Black History Month. Talks about George Ford, of course, Ronald Reagan, and it would be complete without the first Black president, Barack Obama. Now, one on the other side, real closer to home, Stephanie Tubbs. Now, I knew a couple things about Stephanie Tubbs before my era. However, doing a little research on her, and of course, coming back through Cleveland Hopkins International Airport, there's a section dedicated to her, and it has a lot to say about it, right? Many firsts. First Black woman to represent Ohio in Congress. In 1983, she became the first Black woman on the Court of Common Pleas in Ohio. 91, Jones became the first Black person, the first woman to serve as chief prosecutor of Cuyahoga County. Graduated from Collinwood, she went to Case Western Reserve, earned her BA in sociology in 71. In 74, earned a Juris Doctorate from Case School of Law. Right? As a congresswoman, one of the first things she passed in her first year was the Child Abuse Prevention and Enforcement Act, 1999. 2011, Stephanie Tubbs Jones Health Center, which is part of Cleveland Clinic, officially replaced the old Heron Road Hospital. Right? Couple tidbits at the bottom. Section at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport that's dedicated to her. Her father was an airline porter. And I'm pretty sure it said he worked there for 40 years. I didn't know that part. And I always wondered why she had a section at the airport dedicated to her. Said she was often there, so her father would bring her to work. Jones was succeeded, as we know, by Marcia Fudge, one of her former aides and the mayor of Warrensville Heights. Person who succeeded Fudge is also from Warrensville Heights. Great Chantel Brown. Chantel. And I know Will will love this part. She's a proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority, 1913. And Barack Obama, our 44th president. He was just a Democratic presidential nominee. He spoke at her funeral when he was that nominee. So I hope that gave you some stuff about Stephanie Tubbs you did not know. Council President, that concludes my report. Unless there's any questions or concerns of me.
No, I want to thank you for sharing that information. If you have had a chance over this month to look at public television, they've done a lot of Black history stuff going back to Mississippi, Medgar Evans, and the voting situation and all that. And I will say that I think philosophically, every African American should be voting. What we've dealt with over the years in terms of voting, and as you know, they're trying to change the rules to some extent, but we must vote, not just for people up here, but for our kids and grandkids. Okay, voting is essential. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for sharing the last time we met. Thank you very much. Okay, I want to Tracy, I'm going to have Dottie's here. She can give her report.
Yes.
And then I got a couple other things I want to share with our group. Okay. In contracts and property.
It's coming this week.
Thursday,
Thursday.
at what time?
6:30, 5:30.
5:30, because there are so many pieces on it.
So we have some pieces that need to be passed.
Okay, I did. Okay. Anything else you want to share, Councilwoman Gotti?
Tomorrow.
Speak up so everybody can hear you.
Tomorrow, we have a press conference.
Keys to the city,
The
ceremony.
key to the city, sir.
But what time?
130,
1:30.
Okay,
corner of Fifth Avenue in Hayden.
Fifth Avenue and Haiti, what time?
At 1:30.
Okay, thank you. I want to share a couple of things here. I sent something out and maybe I didn't do it, I didn't articulate it, but I'm gonna say, this is about city streets. If you want your council people to want city streets paid, get that to mail run. If you don't want it, I was gonna try to compile it, but if that's an issue, I'm suggesting every council person get that information to mail run. And then, anything you want to say about that, Smith? Okay, right, I said the explanation I gave regarding city street program in my memo dated February 14th was not well received by some. It was not a process that needed to be voted on by the consensus of the council, since it was just an efficient way to collect information. So if that's not the case, I'm asking everyone to get that information to mail around each. Also, before you go to legislation, I want to read this. This is something very positive for the council. Positive feedback. I attended Cleveland State, and I was down there with the law director, Willie Hemmings, and it was a change period. At the time, I don't know if you remember that, but I was the treasurer of student government and a senator, student senator. So it was a pretty good experience in Cleveland State. I want to read this from a professor who lives in East Cleveland, that's at Cleveland State right now, Professor Wells, on February 14th at 9:20 a.m. Michael Wells. Positive feedback for the council. It says, this is a government that promotes our general welfare for those snowplows. I said that we're going to go to that in legislation. A city councilor responded to Professor Wells. The plows won't be here this year. We want to make sure we get what we need. Professor Wells then responded, yes, I know you are preparing for the next winter. Good government in action. So we're being proactive. Okay. President Martin, council, this is what he said to us, Golly. He said, thank you for the kind words. Council is trying to move things forward to ensure that the residents receive the much needed services they deserve. Okay, and then Michael Wills responded, President Martin and Councilor Golly, and he talked about the entire council. All of us as citizens will not always agree, but it's important to remember, in your words, the much needed services they deserve. Thanks to council and the mayor and all these Cleveland staff for keeping our historic city coming back. Okay, so he sees that we're being proactive. We seem to be working together to get these snow plows. So I needed to read that before we go to that legislation. So I'm going to ask Tracy, go ahead.
Okay, legislation, resolution number 622. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Cleveland Freightliner Incorporate 10901 Brook Park Road, Parma, Ohio, 44130, for the purchase of 2 new snowplow salt trucks for the removal of snow within the city of East Cleveland at a capital cost of $243,850.00 or $121,925 per vehicle. This is a second read.
This is second read. I need a sponsor since, okay. You'll sponsor legislation 0622. We need a second. A second. I'm going to open up for discussion. And I'm glad that the mayor's here. There was a couple of questions I couldn't answer. You're here to answer those questions. We don't need to delay this. We've been back and forth with this for a while. I think we need to get it done today. So, Mayor, you want to say something about this? I think I'm trying to remember some of the questions some of the council people had, but if they have questions, we'll have it in discussion. Okay.
I'd like to thank council as a whole for bringing this forward into a vote today. So I did spend some time.
But Hobiak says she wants to hear you.
If you could come a little bit closer to our
You
microphone.
do us a favor.
Yeah, Counselor Bahoviac's online. She's having a hard time.
Okay, great. So welcome, thanks for being online. I appreciate council as a whole for bringing this forward. And as I stated in the last meeting, I'm happy that we're finally getting this to a vote. So I went back through the emails, and actually found March 6, 2019, the original quote on this piece of equipment. Sent down to council, sent down to council, sent down to council, 10, 2020, right? 21. So I have the quotes over the years, right? Just so that we know, this thing started at 79. Then it went to 88. Then it went to 95. It is now at 115. Right? Please, let's get this done,
Should've went that way.
right?
Right.
I mean, it hasn't gone up as much as that fire truck was going up, but it has, and it will continue to go up. Thank you.
Thank you.
I answer any
I'm
questions
gonna,
you have.
what you stated, Amir, the questions that came up, I'm trying to think of some of the questions. One was, one is a little bit higher than the other. Then articulate, I think it's a bigger truck. It came up, but right now is the time for people who have the unreadiness about this to ask their questions, okay?
Counselor Bahoviac, you want to reiterate your question you had? You can go ahead and ask it online. They'll hear you.
Okay. Well, no, I had two questions. One was brought up whether there's a drop variant up for the salt or whether it's widely distributing. That was something that was brought up by someone who deals with these things. Another question I had after reading them was about the special bumper. It said that we were installing some sort of custom bumper, and what's that about?
That it? Okay, so the spreader, as on most, comes with an option of increasing the span. Right, so you could turn the span down for single lane streets. You can expand it, open it up for 4-lane streets. So that comes on the back spreader. Right, so I'm not sure what they're referring to with the bumper, but there is an extra heavy chassis that we're getting on this. Many of you know the trucks that were purchased under the last administration didn't have heavy duty bumpers or chassis, I should say. They wind up rusting out. And if you see them now, they got a ton of weld onto them. So we're just buying a vehicle that's really made for these streets.
Any other questions from any council person? Any other questions on legislation 0622?
You mentioned 2019, and I was just asking a question, why was it so long for 2019? Because I know we was a year on council, that they didn't pass it then.
So we have been chasing this since 2019.
So
And for those who were on council then, you will remember, we had issues with the fiscal commission, and then we were gonna get them, and then the lawsuit from the state came up challenging the home rule. And so then when 20 came and we got to stay like the rest of them, we came back to council in 20 with it. So this has been, we've been working on this since 2019, right? And I'm excited to get this thing to a vote. Get this thing done.
Thank you. Any other questions to the mayor on resolution 0622? Hearing, Mr. Smith, anything you want to say? No. Hearing, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
You You need a motion
Yeah, well, we need a motion.
to,
To adopt this.
to adopt.
Yeah. Okay,
no, that was the sponsor.
that was the sponsor. Okay. The chair will entertain a motion for adoption of 0622.
Let's go.
It's been moved by you, Gotti, seconded by Brother Smith. Call the
Okay.
roll.
Counselor Smith?
Yeah.
Counselor Martin?
Yay,
Counselor Gaudy? Counselor Stevenson?
okay,
3 yeas, it passes.
okay, it's passed. It's a second reading. Tracy, let's go to the next one.
Resolution number 0822, a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Kenworth of Richfield, 2890 Brecksfield Road, Richfield, Ohio, 44286 to purchase a 2021 Kenworth T470 tandem snowplow truck at a cost of $233,502 and no cents.
Okay.
We need a sponsor.
No, this is another. Right.
You need a motion for a sponsor.
Okay, I need a sponsor. Let the record reflect on Tracy that Council Gotti was sponsoring. Is there a second? Okay, it's a second. Mayor, you want to say something about this piece?
Again, thank you, council.
Okay,
And Irby's question was, Irby had.
I couldn't hear you.
So I think Lahovia asked the question wrong. So what Irby's question was that the trucks we have now have the spreader on the left side or the right side corner of the truck.
Mhm.
They were wondering, will the spreader now be in the back center of the truck? So
Okay.
that's what the question was, not about the range of,
Oh, the center,
because I was telling him how it's, better in the center and stuff. But that's what he was wondering, his question was.
Mayor, can you respond to that? please?
Yes, so to be honest with you, I'm not sure where the spreader is going. It either goes in the center or it goes to askew to the passenger side. So if you think about the spread, right, you want it closer to the passenger side.
So let's see the model.
The spreader, you can
She's got
open the spreader up,
He
right?
got it in that book up there.
Yeah, you can open the spreader up. That's fine. It could be in the middle. That's not really what's important about this. What's important is that it can open and close so that you can go from a 1 lane to a 2 lane.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Right.
Yes.
And I'm gonna ask, Justin, Justin is
Yeah.
a truck driver. You wanna
Oh,
say?
yeah, I drive
ask
these,
something about
I drive these trucks actually every night for the city of Cleveland. Their trucks are cheaper, but they're still expensive, of course.
it.
These ones are top of the line trucks, the Kenworths. Pretty much anything to Kenworth is top of the line. You're gonna need it here in East Cleveland. We got Western Stars in Cleveland and they just break down every week. The reason why this second one is much more money is because it's tandem.
Okay.
It means it holds like double the salt, which means you could probably salt a quarter of the city off of one truckload. So it allows you to do more in the little bit of time that they have. So that's pretty much, because I know she had the question of why is these trucks much more? It's because they're tandems. It means they could haul more salt and they got more power and all that good stuff. But I know that Cleveland, spent almost the same amount on the Western Star, and those are the cheaper brand trucks. So I think these are great trucks for the city and should be fine.
Thank you. Any other concerns from any council members?
Can I add to that?
Yes, you can.
So not only is he correct, but this truck, you literally can leave this truck running, right? It can work, you don't have to cut it off. Just leave it running. You're off work, you go clock out, next guy up, next batter up, get on in, keep it going, right? That is this truck. This is top of the line truck. We're not gonna have problems out of this truck.
Thank you. And as we know, we're almost out of winter. We may have a little, maybe 2-3 more weeks. So we'll be ready for next year with new trucks, right?
Yes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
You need a motion
A
to
motion
adopt.
to, okay, motion from council on 0822.
Ms. Garrity,
Gotti made the motion.
second.
Is there a second? Second by Smith. Call the roll.
Counselor Smith,
Yeah.
Counselor Gaudy,
Yeah.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Stevenson,
Okay.
3 yeas, it
Let the
passes.
record reflect that this is passed, the second reading, okay? All right, remarks and request of public, 3 minutes. And I'm asking everyone to try to stay within the 3 minutes, please. All right? Anybody from the public, 3 minutes, remarks and request of the public, 3 minutes response. If I show you this, this means your time is up. Thank you. All right. Is this for her? Come on, old mate.
Name and address.
I have some
Name and address.
Old mates, I hope they can hear you. You sound muffled. Can you hear? Can you hear, old mates?
No, he sounds muffled.
Right, we can't hear you.
I said I have some trepidation in reference to this because you will not get these trucks this
Year?
this season.
Right, you're right.
And probably happen next year. Fine. And I know there was some discussion in reference to buying them during the summer, which would be cheaper because they would be in demand during the winter season. When you two finish off.
Excuse me. Which one? Can I consult with you?
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay, excuse me, I'm late because this is very, I know you very.
Stop it for him. Yeah.
Next time. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I thought-
sorry about that. Go ahead, old mates. I'm sorry.
As I was saying, there was a discussion, and I agreed with the person, council that discussed that at the last meeting in reference to that they would be cheaper than in the summer opposed to during the winter. Because we are in demand, and people need it, community or city needs. So I just trust and hope that this council will show some professionalism and respect the citizens, serve at the behest of the citizens. You're being paid by the citizens to perform a job, and you have to respect the citizens. And I would also ask this council to follow the norms as you want citizens to follow the norms. The norms that you have 5 minutes to discuss something. And you move on to the next person. Okay. And I hope that you will see that you will follow those norms. And I'm singling you out, you are the chairman of this council. And it's incumbent upon you to see that those things are followed. And you must follow them as well. You must show the leadership. I hope that when you get these trucks and you will get people that know how to plow and use them instead of just constantly tearing up things and nothing is being done about it. And there are some other things I'll follow the norms. And
Thank you.
I expect you to follow.
I will also. Thank you. Anybody else from the public? Any remark from the public? Going once, going twice.
Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak? Anyone on Zoom? Counselor Bahoviak? Nobody.
No? Okay, remarks of the mayor. Go ahead.
Thank you, council. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. Once again, thank council again, so that we can provide quality services to the residents. Let's hope that we can get these things built and delivered to us in time for next winter season. I'm sure many of you have heard of the truck driver strike. And now things will be even more delayed. So again, thank you for at least passing. That way we can avoid further price hikes. Thank you.
Thank you. And last meeting, we had Willie Henderson, but we couldn't hear her. So, and she could have helped with some of the questions we had, but we couldn't hear her. But we're working much better now.
Yeah, we got it all fixed. We got it straightened around.
Right, okay. All right. A remark for the council, Councilman Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll be real brief. I want to thank my colleagues on council, especially Councilwoman Gowdy, because everyone knows that any 3 members can take legislation out of committee. And I know it was Councilwoman Gowdy got with Mr. President, and along with myself, that makes 3 people to bring these trucks, these very, very needed
Yes.
trucks back to where they needed to be, and that's on the table for tonight. If we wait until the summertime to start ordering the trucks unfortunately will not be ready by next winter. Which now leads me to thank the service department. I really don't know if I want to thank Officer McDonald for meeting with the Belmonte family. And I just leave it like that. That was a very, very historical, and just thank you. I want to thank Fire EMS for their services. I want to thank all 9 departments for their services, their entire administration. I want to thank the police department for your service and for your transparency under our new chief. Thank you very much. That concludes my brief statements. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilman Smith.
Oh, wait, I lost my mind.
Go ahead.
Most importantly, I would like to thank my neighbors, the great people of East Cleveland. Thank you. Without you, there is no us. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Gowdy?
I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I'm glad the trust is passed and my colleagues working together so we can have decent trucks in our city. Hopefully we have some professionals driving it, they know what they're doing, and we're gonna keep the city going and looking forward on a great outlook of moving this city forward to each and every one of these trying to do the right thing.
Thank you. Councilwoman Corey Stevenson?
I'd like to ask the mayor, when is he going to respond to the information that I requested? Also need to understand why the fire department doesn't have showers. Also need to understand when they're gonna get some toilets in that fire department and why are they living like that? I need to understand that because I don't understand it. And I don't really think there's nobody in this room that can make me understand why men who we depend on as our first line of defense can't take a shower and can't go to the bathroom. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we can handle that now.
Well, I'm asking an email for everyone that ain't got handled.
You want to respond, Mayor? You have my permission. Go ahead.
I want the people to have fun.
So that
Okay.
everyone here understands, residents on the
We
line,
come up so
that the residents on Zoom understands, everyone here understands, and council understands. Both fire departments have showers. Both fire
I need to
departments
go see.
have
I wanna
toilets.
go see.
You're more than welcome to go see them. We are doing rehab to the facilities, right? So out of 4 Johns, they're missing 1 here, and out of 3 or 4 over here, they're missing 2. Those Johns are in the police garage, waiting for the rehab to get to a place to install them.
To install the toilet. You
To
gotta wait for
install-
the rest of the
So
rehab.
yes, so you want to finish the floor, the walls, the paint, and put the toilet down.
So the walls and the paint, the floor finished in the bathroom?
No.
The snow is out here. What's in the bathroom? That's what I want to see.
So what I'm telling you is that it was a misunderstanding, I
There's
think.
no
There is a
misunderstanding. I want to
toilet.
Come
see
on, you
for
can't go
myself.
back and forth.
They have a
I want
toilet
to see for myself.
and they have a shower.
I want to see
So
for
I
myself.
would not leave them because they have multiple bathrooms. So we wouldn't tear out all the bathrooms at one time. This is just one particular bathroom that is being rehabbed at a time. They do have a shower. They do have John's toilets.
Any other concerns,
I'm
Ms.
going
Stevenson?
to see for myself.
So she has that right, okay. I want to say this, I want to really thank the mayor and chief of police for responding to this issue. And we looked at it objectively. All right, I know that something's gonna happen with this situation. The officer has rights, etc. We have to be very careful about these kind of situations, that we're fair. And I think, and we'll know in probably 2 or 3 weeks what the situation is, with the police officer that had pushed this citizen. He put his foot on somebody. But there was, I looked at it very closely. We had a long discussion on it, etc. I feel comfortable with what we're doing with this. Okay, the bottom line is the truth, and whatever happens will happen. But we'll know. I asked him to let us know what happened. Okay, Brother Smith, thank you for stopping. I called. Brother Smith came at the last minute, and we had a good dialogue with this, because I was getting calls this morning about it. Brother Captain Lundy, thank you. Now, I have a great respect for the police and great respect for fire. It's a tough job. It's a tough job. You got people with mental illness, you got people with drug problems, you got alcohol, you got issues, and it's a very difficult situation. Especially when you one-on-one with somebody, it's not easy. It's not easy, okay? Sometimes we lose it. We lose it, okay? But we jumped on this immediately because we didn't want this thing to get out of control. Thank you, Smith, again. Thank you. So I know that they're looking at this. I know that they're looking at it. We'll know in about 2 or 3 weeks what's going to happen with this particular situation. So we're open. We haven't made a decision about this. Thank you. In terms of Black history, our history in this country has been very, I use your word, trepidatious, to say the least. But we can make history. The history that I'm talking about, that this mayor and this council move in the right direction to get things done. And that's what we're trying to do. That we're professional, and that we care about these 14,000 citizens in the city of East Cleveland. We have to work together to get this done. We are a unique city in the state of Ohio. And we can turn it around, and right now, I think we're going in the right direction because we want to do the right thing for the right reason, for the right result. I've spoken. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
President.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Tracy.
There is, we have it all scheduled for this Friday at 2 o'clock for council members to please come to the chambers for the headshots for your new portraits, so we can order your new business cards. We will also be finding out this week, we are on the list. Mr. Leach is getting back to us. Our office will begin to be painted in a new floor next week and the week after, and they're going to paint that ceiling and new lighting in the
Thank
council
you.
office.
We also got, pick out the floor for the bathroom.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And you know something? This may, I guess I've been up here too long. But when I walk through here and see what I see, I feel good. I feel good about this. Okay, and when they get through, when they get the floors down, we're gonna look much better than we've had in years. Thank you. Okay, the meeting's adjourned.